On this episode of the Infowars News, an article says why Donald Trump lost Iowa. Ron Paul says Ted Cruz is not a libertarian. And a Border Patrol agent says we might as well abolish our immigration laws altogether. That and a lot more, so stay tuned. For the week of February the 8th, 2016, this is the first article to hear. And it's an article written by Kirk Nemo. The title is called, Here's Why Trump Lost Iowa and Why It Doesn't Matter. Everything will change during the primaries in open voting states. And trust me, I'll be voting for Trump too, buddy. Cruz, it's either him or nobody. But anyway, putting too much confidence is credence is Trump's losses in Iowa. It isn't really significant. Why? Because the voters of Iowa were restricted to registered Republican voters, and a lot of them were sticking to the party line. Trump's supporters among Republicans is out on the preliminary. The Democratic establishment knows a lot of registered Democrats favor Trump. According to the upshot by Civics Analytics, a Democratic data firm, Democrats in the South Appalachia and the industrial North support Trump. In early January, Mercury Analytics, a research company with clients that include MSNBC and Fox News, condensed an online poll. It revealed a full 20% of Democrats say they will go against the party line and vote for Trump in a general election. Independents are a large factor as well. In an IVN poll conducted in September, showed 25.9% of them were going for Trump. And then it goes on to say that basically polls are inaccurate and flicker, of course. But the upside for Trump is he has a lot of support among people who don't figure into party metrics. Trump's numbers will rise when voting begins in open voter states. Cruz and Rubio don't stand a chance. And that is so true. And here's the article, and here's a video clip of that.
Kurt Nemo wrote a story that is so incredibly important if you want to understand what's happening. And it's up on Infowars.com. And it deals with the fact of why it doesn't matter that he lost. Here's why Trump lost Iowa and why it doesn't matter. Everything will change during the primaries in open voting states. That's right. Iowa, you have to be a registered Democrat to be in the caucus, or you have to be a registered Republican long-standing. It's very elitist, very exclusive, not inclusive. And so the big giant swing group of blue-collar workers of every race, color, and creed, entrepreneurs, blacks in double the numbers they are for other Republican candidates, are in major polls saying they support Trump. And so that's why he lost. Now, there is evidence of Microsoft fraud, and that's not me saying that. They even put it in the news now in our face. It's like when I caught Mike Hansen and Richard Reeves election fraud 16 years ago, and we went and fought it in court in the county commissioners. And after a month-long process, the state board of elections said, yes, there was fraud. Looks like there was a big mistake. Looks like this election could be in question, but we're going to go ahead and certify it anyways. I was watching the fraud with my eyeballs at the election center.
Okay, thank you. Basically, I mean, and I'm not kidding around, I will vote for Trump. There's no doubt in my mind. I mean, Rand Paul dropped out, so he's the president left. It's either Trump or nobody. Because the country's in real bad shape. And if Jeb or Hillary or Bernie gets in there, oh my god, oh my goodness, there's going to be some real changes going through here. In a socialist way, if you get my drift. But enough of that. Here's an article written by Kit Daniels. I think he wrote the last one I just read. I'm not sure. But anyway, the article is titled, Cruz is not a libertarian. He is owned by Goldman Sachs. Well, that's a devastating blow if I ever saw one. I mean, he and him have more in common than we have with Cruz and Trump, as Ron Paul says. Ted Cruz isn't free market libertarian, Ron Paul warned his son's former supporters on Friday. Yeah, take a guy like Cruz, and people are liking the Cruz. They think he's for free market, and in reality, he's owned by Goldman Sachs. Well, his wife is a part of Goldman Sachs, to be understand. He said of the Texas senator on Fox Business, Vanity, and Company. I mean, he and Hillary have more in common than we have with Cruz and Trump or any of them. I don't think there is much picking. Vote Trump, people. It's hard to find anybody, since Rand is out, anybody that would take a libertarian position, hardcore libertarian position on privacy, on the war issue, on the economic policy. Paul also warned that a Democratic candidate, Bernie Sanders, wasn't much better during a Mises Institute conference on January 30th. Some progressives, if you watch them on the internet, will have really close arguments and might be talking about the same issues, but boy, they don't want you to even introduce the notion that libertarians are with them on this, because they're terrified we might encroach on their power to redistribute wealth by force. And there's a video here, you can watch it too. And again, here's another article, another clip from Alex Jones. Here it is.
Well, no, it's just that, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that. I was just sitting in there on the couch doing a research meeting with the Swedish bikini team, and I'm joking. Seriously, I dropped the ball earlier. I don't mean to interrupt. I just went and asked Kid if you covered it yet. Ron Paul came out, and there's video of it. It's on Infowars.com. Oh, like an evangelist preacher, man. I didn't realize I had my hair like that. See, I was sitting on the couch having a meeting about stuff and sitting there playing with my hair. Anyways, getting back to what I was saying, this is spontaneous, teleprompter free, as you can tell. Ron Paul, Cruz on Libertarian, he's owned by Goldman Sachs.
Oh, that's huge.
That's a big blow, and that's good for Trump.
Yeah.
So we need to get that article out. That's really important. Sorry, I just hadn't got it.
Well, and here's the quote. I mean, he and Hillary have more in common than we would with Cruz and Trump.
And he's still kind of hitting at Trump right there. But.
Yeah. Ted Cruz isn't a free market libertarian, Ron Paul warned to his son's former supporters on Friday. You take a guy like Cruz, people are liking the Cruz. They think he's for the free market. And in reality, he's owned by Goldman Sachs. Well, his wife works for Goldman Sachs. I mean, that's the key right there. Money. They did. They gave him some low-interest loans.
Ron Paul, I get Trump's not perfect, but here's the deal. The whole establishment is obviously against Trump, for real. So, okay, fine. Who are we going to support there?
Marco Rubio. That's who they want to push on us. That's our savior. Thanks, Alex, for jumping in.
All right, you just heard what he just said. This is a devastating blow for Cruz. And for everybody else who thinks basically otherwise, you're nuts. I mean, Paul's out. Only person that's left in this race is, well, Trump. So it's either, and as I said before, it's either Trump or nobody. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. And if he goes back on his word, well, you know, I mean, we're gonna burn him at the stake, and he knows that. But enough about that. This is the last article here, and it's an article written by the Washington Examiner. This article is picked up by Infowars.com. The title is called Border Agent. We might as well abolish our immigration laws altogether. It was written by Bob Bedford. The article reads as follows. In a shocking reversal of policy, the U.S. Customs and Border Protection agencies are being told to release illegal aliens and no longer order them to appear at deportation hearings, essentially a license to stay in the United States. A key agent testified Thursday. What's more, the stand down issued requirement that the whereabouts of illegals are not to be tracked. Testifying on the 2-year border surge of immigration of youth, Judd said the policy shift was prompted by the Obama administration embarrassment that took just over half of the illegals ordered to appear in court actually do. The failure of the venture, the wolf of the failure showing up for court appearances by persons that were arrested and released by the Border Patrol has become an extremely embarrassment for the Department of Homeland Security, which it meant to be was, sir. It has been an embarrassment to DHS, and the U.S. Attorney Office has come up with a new policy. He testified before the Immigration Subcommittee of the House Judiciary Committee. The Department of Homeland Security, however, said that the government continues to be strict on the border, even though they haven't been strict on the border. He also added, the Border Patrol's resources are mostly efficient on the focus of prioritizing and apprehension of removal of individuals attempting to unlawfully enter the United States. And basically, I'll stop right there. I mean, this thing's very big and very serious, folks, and here's a clip about that.
Let's just continue here. Oh, border agent, we might as well abolish our immigration laws altogether. We might as well abolish them. In a shocking reversal of U.S. policy, U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents are being told to release illegal immigrants and no longer order them to appear at deportation hearings, essentially a license to stay in the United States. A key agent testified Thursday to Congress. I covered this yesterday, and I probably got 150 plus new articles today. But how do you not just point that out? What's more, of course, we told you this 2 years ago, the stand-down order includes a requirement that the whereabouts of illegals release not be tracked. Yeah, remember how they won't tell the governors where the refugees are going? But oh, don't you worry. Oh, the police are listening to your cell phone with the Stingray systems. Don't you worry. You've got license plate reading cameras up everywhere tracking you. Oh, don't you worry. We're going to search your kids at school. Oh, don't you worry. They're passing laws to forcibly inoculate you. Don't you worry. If I get on an airplane and fly to D.C. or anywhere else to cover something, they know exactly who I am, and they direct me over to have my bags torn apart, and the same thing happens to my crew. And if I point out, our borders are wide open, they'll either say, yeah, I know, I'm a listener, this is terrible, we're trying to unionize, or, you know what, you want to miss your flight, keep your mouth shut.
Okay, thank you. You just heard what I just said, right? I mean, the tip would be longer, but he would hit a whole bunch of stuff. But, folks, Obama's letting all these people in to wreck this country. They want to bring it all down. And if you don't see that, well, you're just crazy. Not to mention the fact that basically ISIS is already in here as well. They're coming to our southern border. I mean, what else is there for me to say? It's not that difficult to see that the country is falling apart. And Obama's doing it on purpose. He's trying to wreck the country. Anyway, this is all the articles I have for you today. If you'd like to read more about these articles, please go to the links below or go to Infowars.com or PrincePlan.com. There you can find hundreds of articles just like this one I have read for you today. This is the Infowars News Blitz. I'm Info Gundam, live from Fiend Region number 3. Please like, subscribe, and donate. Bye-bye.